Everywhere she goes, Ouyang Haoyu is followed. What she buys, how she behaves, is tracked and scored to show how responsible and trustworthy she is. It's called the social credit system, and in one version now being tested, a person's reputation is scored on a scale of 350 to 950. And Haoyu, with a good score of 752, is okay with it. In fact, most people are.
It's a mechanism pushes you to become a better citizen.
It's big data meets Big Brother, expanding how the government monitors, understands, and ultimately controls its 1.4 billion citizens. Thanks to advances in artificial intelligence and facial recognition, and a web of more than 200 million surveillance cameras. Are people bothered by privacy concerns?
We think the lot of camera keep the safety is really good. We can accept it.
Companies are experimenting with the algorithms to help the government create the new national social credit system. The government also has pilot projects. In one, citizens are required to do hours of unpaid work to get benefits. And scores are docked for things like littering, a messy yard, gossip, even jaywalking. Video of offenders is shown on the local news. And information collectors like Zhou Aini are paid to report on their neighbors. Her quota, 10 entries a month. Like the man who carried a drunk person home. A good deed, she says. Good social credit gets rewarded with perks like cheap loans and travel deals. But a bad score means public shame and worse.
We need to make sure that everybody continues to let us know where those folks are. If you've observed recurring violations of the Safer at Home order, please continue to let us know at coronavirus.lacity.org/business violation. You know the old expression about snitches? Well, in this case, snitches get rewards. We want to thank you for turning folks in and making sure we are all safe.
Amazon isn't just delivering packages these days, it's also selling a powerful new facial recognition software.
Introducing Amazon Recognition Video, the easy-to-use API for deep learning-based analysis to detect, track, and analyze people and objects in video.
It boasts that the technology can detect, track, and analyze people. Let's think about what those powers could mean in the hands of the government.
Amazon Recognition Video uses the visual, what, temporal, when, and motion from the video to deliver high-quality person tracking and detection of activities like running, playing soccer, or getting into a car.
Recognition can identify a person's face in real time by matching it against huge databases of photos. Amazon also advertises this person tracking feature. That means that whoever has the software could theoretically use it to identify people at protests or figure out when you're traveling to the doctor or to a religious service.
The next, of course, common use case, as you could expect, is public safety.
Amazon is already working with government agencies to deploy this technology. At the ACLU, we obtained records that show that Amazon signed a secrecy agreement with one county to keep details about the technology out of public view. They've also invited law enforcement to suggest new features, and they offered free consulting to help the city of Orlando build its own system.
City of Orlando is a launch partner of ours. It's a smart city. They have cameras all over the city. We analyze the video in real time, search against the collection of faces that they have.
So Orlando is already using the technology. It also already has surveillance cameras all over the city, on everything from light posts to police officers. Activating a city-wide facial recognition system could be as easy as flipping a switch. Body cams were designed to keep officers accountable to the public. But facial recognition turns these devices into surveillance machines. This can mean round-the-clock surveillance whenever cops are present. Imagine what that would mean for minority communities that are already over-policed. People should be free to walk down the street without the government watching them. In the hands of governments, technologies like recognition could make that impossible.
But you don't have a choice. People act like you have a choice.
I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't.
But you don't have a choice. People act like you have a choice.
You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right.
People don't feel like going to the stadium when they might get infected. You know, it's not the government who's saying, okay, just ignore this disease. And, you know, people are deeply affected by seeing these deaths, by knowing they could be part of the transmission chain, and old people, their parents, their grandparents could be affected by this. And so you don't get to say,
but you don't say that.
Shut up. Ignore what's going on here. There will be the ability, particularly in rich countries, to open up if things are done well over the next few months. But for the world at large, normalcy only returns when we've largely vaccinated the entire global population. And
an apparent New World Order numbering of the world's population is in the works, which will affect and impact every human being on the planet from the first day of birth forward. This is a schematic of the game plan. It's called ID 2020 Alliance, and is the most comprehensive surveillance database probably to date. As you can see from the international organizations involved, governmental agencies feeding it, statistical data, and the countries that would fund it. If you look closely, you'll see the importance vaccinations will play in the alliance, and the apparent role that Big Pharma will take in providing ever-increasing numbers of vaccines, which probably will never see legitimate scientific testing for safety or efficacy. The other point that should strike you when viewing the schematic is the apparent close relationship between Gavi, and the United Nations UNICEF. The ID 2020 Alliance describes how and when it was launched. Gavi was officially launched at the World Economic Forum in 2000, at a time when multiple organizations were pursuing siloed approaches to immunization, leading to inefficiencies and ineffectiveness in the market for vaccines. The organization's founding partners, including UNICEF, the World Bank, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, developing and donor governments, and others, recognize that uncoordinated programs and unpredictable financing were hindering vaccination efforts, and hypothesized that streamlining funding was a critical driver of a coordinated approach. As such, the Alliance not only coordinates action on the ground, but achieves scale and impact by operating as a multi-stakeholder partnership around a single funding entity. The Alliance raises a single fund to support global immunization efforts, then channels that funding into vaccination programs meeting criteria determined by Alliance partners. The result has been coordinated programs, efficient use of funding, and a large pooled market for vaccines that has driven down the cost of vaccinations for more than 800 million children worldwide. Folks, if you haven't realized it yet, the digitalization and technological pushes can and probably will make life unbearable. Acceptance of all that technology that everyone thinks is so fantastic has now become the albatross around everyone's neck. You no longer will be your own person. You'll be owned by technology.
I flew here from New York City. And to get here, I calculate that I had to show some form of identification 25 times. To board an airplane, to enter Morocco, to check into my hotel, and so on. Fortunately for me, when I was born in California, about 30 years ago, my parents registered my birth in the vital record system of Alameda County. And as a result, I have a birth certificate, a passport, a driver's license, a bank account, credit cards, and a health insurance card. And each one of those documents was useful in some way to get me into this room today. Each one of these documents demonstrates that I am who I say I am. You all probably have a similar portfolio of documents.
My problem is when I start talking about it, I get very upset. So forgive me, this will pass. There has been perpetrated upon us the most heinous crime against humanity, and it goes so far back that you can't blame any of the administration because they are not a government. They are the United States Corporation. The U.S. government incorporated as a for-profit commercial enterprise in the Legislative Act of February 21st, 1871, 41st Congress, Session 3, Chapter 62, page 419, and chartered a federal company entitled United States, i.e. United States, aka U.S. Incorporated, a commercial agency originally designated as Washington, D.C., in accordance with the so-called 14th Amendment, which the records indicate was never ratified. The United States government is a foreign corporation with respect to the state. 19 Corpus Juris Secundum 541, location of United States. The United States is located in the District of Columbia. Secretary of the Treasury of Puerto Rico was appointed receiver over the bankrupt United States in the Reorganization Plan number 26 in 1950. Title 5, United States Code, Section 903, Public Law 94-564. The Secretary of the Treasury of Puerto Rico, Title 27, Code of Federal Regulations, Section 251.11, the title, Secretary of the Treasury, is a euphemistic abbreviation of the actual title, Secretary of the Treasury of Puerto Rico. The Internal Revenue Service was incorporated in Delaware, is not a part of the supposed U.S. government, which is but a de facto for-profit corporation masquerading as a government. It operates out of Puerto Rico. This is the IRS. It's not registered to do business in any state, is the bookkeeping and debt collection arm of the Secretary of the Treasury of Puerto Rico. They collect for the International Monetary Fund. Everybody who gets up into the administration, the Congress, the legislation, all the way down to the local level are corporations, private companies. We are their chattel. We are their inventory. They make money off of us, and you don't even know how deep it goes. And I apologize for my passion about this. But when I found this out, it was the only time that I felt hatred for the evil slime who did this to us.
So stay tuned for the next part. We'll pick up right here where we left off. What you can watch it. I will leave any intros and stuff out so that you can watch it in a consecutive style. And so again, my name is Cullen Smith. This is Lifting the Veil. You can find all of my full books, presentations, videos, films, articles, posts at patreon.com/liftingtheveil. And there is also a ton of exclusive content, and I will leave the cited reference links in the description down below. So you can check that out for all of my full content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned, make sure to subscribe. Please help me reach more people by sharing these videos around on the internet, because I rely solely on word of mouth, and the recommended algorithms are not recommending any of my videos or films anymore. My channel has literally been completely restricted, so I rely on your help, and I need your help. So please help support this channel by sharing my work around if you appreciate it, and make sure to subscribe if you're not a subscriber already, and leave me your comments. I definitely want to know what you have to share and what you have to think about all of this stuff, and I will see you in the next video. Y'all stay safe and take care of yourselves, and I will see you later.